morning. I'm going to read Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 12 through to chapter 2 verse 1. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 12. And this is Habakkuk's second charge to God, second set of words to God. O Lord, are you not from everlasting? My God, my Holy One, we will not die. O Lord, you have appointed them to execute judgment. A rock, you have ordained them to punish. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrong. Why then do you tolerate the treacherous? Why are you silent while the wicked swallow up those more righteous than themselves? You have made men like fish in the sea, like sea creatures that have no ruler. The wicked foe pulls all of them up with hooks. He catches them in his net. He gathers them up in his dragnet. And so he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and burns incense to his dragnet. For by his net he lives in luxury and enjoys the choicest food. Is he to keep on emptying his net, destroying nations without mercy? I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me, and what answer I am to give to this complaint. Where do we start when we are wondering what God is doing on the world stage, at the national level, in our community, in our own lives? Something has happened that perplexes you. You just don't understand why it has happened, why God has allowed it to happen. It could be the way that some Christians are persecuted around the world, even to death. You could be wondering why the church in this country seems so fragile. So many people can't be bothered to think about God. It could be the drug or drink problems near where you live, the crime rates, the poverty, the loneliness. It could be health issues, your family not sharing the faith that you have, financial or employment worries, children who are struggling. Where do we start with the things that weigh us down? Remember, that's one of the meanings of the word oracle in verse 1, the oracle that is weighing Habakkuk down. Well, in this second complaint or charge to God, Habakkuk helps us. Remember, he's complained to God about the violence and injustice that he sees every day in Judah. And God has replied, saying that he is going to do something in Habakkuk's time that will amaze him. God is raising up the Babylonians, the mighty nation who defeat all before them. And now Habakkuk laments again to God. How can it be right to defeat violence and justice with greater violence and injustice? This is what is on his mind as he comes to these verses, what is weighing him down. He's confused. And so he starts by going back to basics. He reminds himself of who God is and how he, Habakkuk, relates to God. God is Lord, Yahweh, the covenant name for God, and that is how Habakkuk knows him. God is from everlasting. He always has been and always will be. He was before the Babylonians, so he will be after them. Their God, which is their strength, is nothing compared to the Lord. Yahweh is my God, Habakkuk says. Despite his confusion and doubts, Yahweh is still my God. Habakkuk hasn't abandoned God. And he is my Holy One. Yahweh is not like us. He is holy. He acts rightly and justly and wisely. And so he affirms, we will not die. Judah are God's people, and whatever happens, God has made a covenant with them, and he believes they will not be completely wiped out. And then Habakkuk affirms Yahweh's sovereignty. O rock, you have ordained them to punish. You have appointed them to execute judgment. He seems to realize now that the Babylonians will come. They will execute judgment on Judah, his people. But he affirms that God is in control over all that will happen. God is in control of history and all that happens. So amidst his confusion, his doubts, his questioning of God, Habakkuk starts with what he knows to be true about God. and about his relationship with God. So if you are weighed down, if you are wondering where God is, if you're wondering what God is doing, start with thinking about who God is and your relationship with him. If you are a Christian, he is the God you are in covenant with. He is from everlasting. He is your God. He is the Holy One who always acts wisely and justly and rightly. He is in sovereign control of whatever it is that is on your mind that might be weighing you down. You may not understand what is happening, but he does. So maybe after this, come to prayer again. But before you speak about your concerns, praise God for who he is and the hope that you have through Jesus.